Hi and welcome to the online showcase of admissions here at Red Room Poetry on World Mental Health Day. I mean, every day is World Mental Health Day, but sometimes it's nice to tie something meaningful to these things. And this anthology, Admissions, of which I'm one of the editors with the wonderful Mohammed Arwood and Radhiah Chowdhury. Radhiah and Mohammed have helped me put this together, and what it does is collate lived experience, poetry, fiction, and some art from people who have had experiences within mental health, mental illness, and in a lot of cases within the public health system. And I don't believe there's a living document like this that captures those experiences and the range of experiences. There is no one experiences in spaces like this. And I really want to thank Red Room Poetry, who I also work for, producing the Mad Poetry Project, for really supporting this anthology, helping with the call out. There's 30 emerging voices in this anthology because of Red Room Poetry support and call out, as well as many commissions that have made this anthology through the Mad Poetry Project. Also like to just quickly thank Australia Council of the Arts, who supported this anthology. Personally, I want to put a grant in for this, which was then supported by Red Room, and also to every single voice within this anthology who agreed to have. There's over 100 voices in there. You're about to see an online showcase sampling some of the commissions, some of the emerging voices, and some of the previous Red Room Commission voices as well as new poetry from some of our leading poets as well. So it's just a sample of what this document, the body of this thing contains. And I'm very fortunate just to be really a facilitator to create a platform like this. I hope you head to Upswell. I've got to thank Upswell Publishing as well for backing this anthology in the way they have. And to Terry Ann in particular, please, I hope you go away and purchase a copy from Upswell as well, and help this anthology and these voices find new ears, new homes amongst you. Enjoy. I should say just quickly, I'm not going to be emceeing, hosting in between the videos. You're just going to now see a bunch of people reading amazing poems, and I'll come back at the end. So sit back, enjoy, take it in.
My name's Heidi Everett, and I'm on Wurundjeri country, and I'm reading a poem called The Honourable Crazy Ship by Heidi Everett for Poetry Month. May I have your attention, please? Doors will be shut in 10 seconds. Stand clear. Schizophrenia. Throw all the letters in the air of schizophrenia and it comes back down as on crazy ship. It's a ship that's both honourable and crazy. It sank in flying colours. On. An honorific is a title that conveys esteem, courtesy or respect for a position or rank when used in addressing or referring to a person. From Wikipedia, honorific. Crazy. Someone who is wild and fun. Someone who will go against the rules. Someone who does what they want no matter the consequences. Someone who will do anything, especially for love. From Urban Dictionary, crazy. Someone who spells it C-R-A-Z-I-E. My injured brain is high latency. You speak to me in 5G and I'm buffering Morse. Yet my thoughts are up there with Musk. The meds put a full stop on my thoughts and you, oh look, a dog. A Tesla with Seroquel additive. It'd be great if we all learned Auslan and moved tangibly through our shared minds rather than stood like pillars with invisible sparks coming off the top expecting everyone to catch fire. Schizoaffective. It's not a tad of schizophrenia that affects me, as a GP once said to my body trying to engineer listening. Affective disorder. Characterised by dramatic changes of extreme mood, included elevated, expansive or irritable mood with hyperactivity, pressured speech and inflated self-esteem. Or dejected mood with disinterest in life, sleep disturbance, agitation, feelings of worthlessness and guilt, and often combinations. From Britannica, Affective Disorder. Amazing! Exquisitely spectacular phantasm of hypersensitive audiation. What did you say? Oh my god, a dog! Thing with up front eyes? Creative genius, but I suck. The world sucks. This 3 a.m. revelation enrages the crap out of me. A useless, discarded lump fault. All aboard!
My body is a window. Which is to say, if you lift me up, I will let in 1,000 fragrant blooms, spring air to hold you. But here's the thing about trauma. It builds bars around being. So used to my body pressed up against glass, voices muffled, breath fogging up pain, I have become proficient in writing the word help backwards. In a TV show where people dress up as drag queens, contestants are asked to name their inner saboteur. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Sid. It is short for insidious. Sid says, have you ever thought about a very brief career in tying knots? Sid says, what would happen if we laid down and just never got up? Sid says, if you want to go, let's go. Sid is not my friend. Defenestration is the act of throwing a body through a window. But how can I throw this voice outside myself? Remember, trauma builds bars around being. The writer Anna Borges has called this condition chronic passive suicidal ideation. I call it up at least 5 times a week, involuntarily. On the weekend, we do each other's nails. As I ring for the pizza, it is planning an escape route. I so want to escape this. So, I go to therapy. I do the work. I write lists, and on all of them, your name appears twice. I head home, realizing that I may be a car doing 40-something down the freeway of life, tires balding, odometer needing occasional tapping, but my radio heart can still sing, and when I wind the windows down, my palms catch wind, and surely this is enough reason to keep going. I get home, fill bucket with soap and water, take down all the bars, squeegee clean each sheet of pain, go inside, turn on all the lights, so I am bright and shiny, because my body is a window, and now you can see me.
My mental health journey can be traced along mother lines, fractals that continue repeating in subtly changing patterns across generations. As a young adult, I learned that my nanu had lived with paranoid schizophrenia for decades. Untreated, of course. By the time she was my nanu, age had lent her behaviour a benevolent eccentricity, but her journey was never a happy or a smooth one, and she met a premature and violent end that still wounds us nearly 20 years later. Ma was never able to comprehend her own mother. She treated her with varying degrees of anger, impatience, and disappointment. And then Nana was gone. Only a handful of months later, my own diagnosis finally came in. I would have been 19, perhaps 20. Ma banished Dad to the spare room and called me into her bed that night, and as we lay there in the dark, she held my hand very tightly and whispered, "Don't tell anyone else about this." Counter to most of my upbringing, I obeyed Ma on this point for a very long time. We didn't speak of my mental health or treatment after that night. not through the medicated years and the fug of assorted high-dosage SSRIs, nor through a number of episodes that broke through that fug. She almost broke her silence once, when my high school best friend, of whom she was incredibly fond, was admitted into an inpatient unit after an unsuccessful suicide attempt. She ended up channeling her fear and sorrow into making weekly batches of papa bitter for me to take to my friend on my weekly visits. When I recount that night in Ma's bed to others, her words are almost always met with a sense of horror and condemnation. It made me think about whether I should write this particular piece for weeks. I never tell the story to castigate my mother, or to showcase the ignorance of my cultural heritage on issues of mental health. I'll generalize that a version of this story exists in every single culture. The moment is crystallized in my memory, not because of what Ma said, but because of the strength of her grip on my hand as she said it, as though by holding me firmly enough, my usually undemonstrative mother could haul me out of the pit that had swallowed her own mother, 2 brothers, and several nieces and nephews. That memory has always cut through the silences. That grip still holds firm, even when the words can't be spoken.
Hi. Before we begin, I'd just like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which I'm living, the land of the Wadi Wadi people of the Dharawal Nation. The poem I'm going to read to you was composed from several poems written during an inpatient stay at Sutherland Mental Health Unit in April of 2020. It's called From the Book of Puns and Other Altered Sentences. The blue chair is algorithmic, and we who are not apostrophes cannot spoil the things we do with the furniture. We love useless things, so if you're digging with a spoon in the garden of the HDU and you're a poet and mad, remember it is a spoon and not a pen. In the morning, in the muralled hospital courtyard, a star, the morning star, points down. In the afternoon, the sun contrives with the sailcloth to create a specific volcano. It is 20 minutes since you took your meds, Zyprexa, the communion wafer, the blasphemous one. Instead of taking it on the tongue, you take it under the roof of your mouth. Sedative tongue kisses numbing us. Leaving the tomb on the 3rd day, you try to stop them thinking you're dead. But if you don't want to say anything, just go back and know you'll come back out the front of the caravan park where no one can hear us. Just you and me pressing against time. There are always devils on the ward. They spit bullets into the mouths of the innocents and they drag us down with their growling, clawing, gnawing syllables. There are always angels on the ward. They speak flowers at medication time, watering our tomorrows. They lift us up with their songs, their wings, and their beautiful caresses. It is the coming down time, coming down from the vision place, the reminder of concrete landings and the smashing of intellect. It is the fool tripping over his outrageous shoes again, again, and again. It's like history playing backwards. What has been done is playing live music improvised. The future catches up with the past, and in time you are moving back and forward to the present. To get out of here, we all need to walk to schedule. Meals arrive on Dalek trays vertically mirroring the ward, where the rooms are stacked laterally, unlike their inhabitants. It's still all about screen time. Nurses stare out of the fishbowl while we swim round and round. On each of our leave breaks, a newly born baby emerges from the hospital entrance exit into this COVID-19 world, evidence that this day belongs to them as we sit on the grass seeking distance from each other. Thank you.
This is a ditty entitled Septic Tank Universe. I live in a rectangle, and it is the purity of the world in which I live. The sea surrounds the sun's silver walls, which slithers radioactive junkie degenerates. Scratch, score, slap of the tearing and pouring of blood, flesh and lime cascading from blades. Bzzz. The sun's silver walls shoot 5 meters to the sun of the kingdom. Government instruments penetrate with C-rays and battle with blood cameras that spray psychoactive substances to diffuse and disorient the opponent. Tut tut, I mutter, a warthog in mud tactic. Someone shouts from crisscross metallic megaphones. Government vehicles stride the sky with beeps, blips and clicks, permeating from slits in the high beam lights. The council cleaners strip the government manufactured and crafted 1905 vintage wallpaper that is pasted onto the firmament. Waste is compressed into structure cubes cut in 2-centimetre intervals. The Dettel Lake sucks up the dirt germs sourced from a constellation of abscesses held in various city hospitals. The 3 Amigo checkpoints filter the scum particles held in the back seat of a vomit car dropped into the Dettel Lake. Behind, moving electric benches support statues which secrete white blood cells magnified physical 2,000 times. Autoclaves line the edge of the horizon. Steam puff furtive. Steam the air and strip it bare, boys. All drugs anti-cover the 5-metre perimeter of my bedroom. All anti-this and anti-that. Antihistamines, antibiotics, antiseptics, and antipsychotics. But I have no need for any of these, rolling as my brain does. No contaminants required, nor sprayed mind fur-altering microbes. They fill the shelves. It's all anti-life. But purity and sterility wash the hands that forsake the filth. Eyes in an evil to which I stare in Kafka horror. My body is completely encased. I am becoming a germ.
Hello, I'm Anna Jacobson, and I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which I am speaking, writing and creating, the Yagara and Turrbal people, and pay my respects to elders past and present. Today I'm coming to you from Meanjin, reading my poem, People Die in Seclusion Rooms, from the Admissions Anthology, Voices Within Mental Health. And a content warning, this poem references news reports from 2017 about Miriam Merton, who died in a seclusion room in an Australian psychiatric hospital in 2014. And this poem also references my own experiences from 2011. People die in seclusion rooms. Woman lies face to feet under a white sheet on a bare concrete floor in a bare concrete room. Walls say, another one. Woman is dead. The staff did not watch. No one wants to watch a woman who cannot watch for herself. Walls say, we are the watch women. She fell many times and hit her head on a bare concrete floor in a bare concrete room. That woman could have been me. What do you want? Padded walls, says nurse. Walls say, we want all soft edges and no room. Doc looks me in the eyes. You were placed in seclusion many times, more than most. Do you remember this? No, I don't remember. I was not there in myself while my body lay on the bare mattress and screamed for my return. Nurses made brief records, unwatching the woman who cannot watch for herself. Hospital file tells me I smuggled in a pen. Security assisted. The pen was removed. I wrote on the floor with cold cups of tea. My words were not noted. No one wants to listen to the woman who cannot hear herself. They removed the bed frame in case I hit my head, but what of the bare concrete floor in a bare concrete room filled with ghosts of those from before? I don't remember the seclusion room, though a part of myself still haunts its walls, floor, page.
Metamorphoses in the Sunday of life. This is what in almost 7 decades I have become. I am a perceptual anomaly, an oddity, like all of us. Now I have 4 heads, 4 identities. It has been a slow change, but it has happened. The body is fractured, intricately and intimately, but in one way it has become a brilliant decoration, and I do like decoration. Words are part of the perception and decoration. I rely on them heavily. I was careful in the beginning, but they have long since gotten out of hand, oozed out of the cracks in the box. I am not adventurous for the sake of being adventurous. They have a life of themselves now. I had to adjust, but it is much easier that their weight is taken off my shoulders. Now emptiness is everywhere, but it sparkles. Anyway, it was always part of the landscape.
Hi, my name is Brooke Scobie. I'm a Bundjalung person coming to you from Dark and Young Land. I'm reading my poem, Ode to Bad Medicine, written for Poetry Month. Ode to Bad Medicine. When Wallaby slows to listen, there grows bad medicine. Fires suffocate and fill the air with felted grey. Desert birds fall from the sky, flesh dripping from their softened bones. There grows bad medicine. Lavender, glory smothers grandma's hands. Trust is built on stolen lands. Bridges are swallowed into earth. A magpie's voice falls silent. There grows bad medicine. Where whispers scream and water burns, no one picks up the phone. Atmosphere thicker than mucus. When echidna's quills curl under, there grows bad medicine. Thank you.
Dissociate is to. Dissociate is to separate, is to alter, is to leave. Imagine your particles, your particular self. Imagine you are driving a while or only minutes in a car on a road with your children. 2 hands, 1 wheel, thinking of nothing, possibly everything. You feel the old pull out of your body, a tiny snick, and you shucked your skin. Now you are above the car. You are rising. You have gone beyond the atmosphere and reached, with no help from any science, the other side of the universe. Please understand, please feel this, the space where bliss is waiting. Dissociate is to apparate, is to appear, is to arrive. In the car, your son is telling you a story, or your daughter is telling you a story, or both of them are telling you a story. You do not understand them. They do not understand. You are not here. You are driving. You are not driving. You are on the freeway, and you aren't. Dissociate is to disassemble, is for language to end, is for words to turn to water. Note: people who are driving on freeways but also aren't might forget they are driving on a freeway. You are on a freeway with your children, Alarms sound in the far away. You must come back. You must force yourself into yourself, stuff yourself into your skin. What skin? Rattle back inside those bones. What bones? Return your far-flung molecules, the ones that have turned to air. Please do it, so you can take your children down this freeway past these fertile monsters, grown stone barriers, the zip-thick white lines, all this gaping nothing, and safely home. You walk through the door again. As you do, keys clunk on kitchen bench, footsteps on tiles,
Cat snakes through bare legs, mango sheen in sunlit bowl, dog wags at the sliding glass window. Somewhere, someone moves through space-time. Someone, a child, reaches out, takes their mother's hand. Sweaty fingers, sweet press of skin, here, here. Here you are.
This is a poem called Comic Sans, and it's written by me and Chris Fleming. This is your form. If you make a mistake, don't cover it up. So, this is a form again. Straighten your back, focus and start. Don't be sneaky. Use only blue or black pen. I have stencils backdating my failures. Capital letters itemize time, tide, trauma. In other words, do you have a green, purple, or light blue pencil? A momentous choice. Put the pen in the bag, remove the bag, put it on, light it up, and charcoal the beast you arrived on. Find and follow the dot. It's been more than 10 years now. Don't let anyone see that. Your pen is older and you are not. Sure enough, go out and buy a cheapskate pen. Choosing the right item is an important choice. A moustache, a suit, a collar. In the loud voice of men. Can I have a pen? Is this true? Then go back and fill this out. What kind of handwriting is this? Looks like writing for the beach. First impressions matter. You are talking. Separate and use handwriting. I admit I blew it up. Why do I still use that font? If you have a wound, salt water will aid the healing. If you have a beach, the tide will erase the whole thing. I wish you good luck. But Jesus, what's on the page?
Such amazing videos, such amazing poetry, such great reading, such vital. I mean, this is what poetry can do. I hope you go and get a copy of Admissions, Voices Within Mental Health from Upswell Publishing, order it online. I hope you check out the Mad Poetry Project at Red Room Poetry that's been running for a few years now, and just seeing, the workshops and what's been happening in those spaces. My name's David Stavanger. Thanks for joining us for this online admission showcase, saying goodbye to you and acknowledging that this has come to you from unceded Dharawal country. Have a great night.